The ethics of leadership revolve around a person's traits and morality and how they use them to make decisions. According to Northouse, ethics has to do with the nature of a leader's behavior and with their virtuousness. This theory of ethics applies to most forms of leadership, from the behavioral approach to transactional leadership. The theory of ethics deals with the consequences of a leader's actions and can be grouped into three different stages: ethical egotism, utilitarianism, and altruism. Each of these concepts has to do with how a leader perceives their role. Will they do what's right for themselves or what's right for others? Many scholars point to Lawrence Kohlberg's six stages of moral development as an explanation of how people develop morality and ethics, while the five principles of leadership describe the traits that a leader will have to be perceived as ethical. Lastly, according to Brown and Trevino, observers have long believed that personal traits such as integrity would be important to the perception of a leader's effectiveness.
Ethical leadership, how it adds to the leadership studies. When it comes to ethics, we look to leaders to lead on ethics and take responsibility for both good and bad results. As mentioned in Northhouse, leaders who lead ethically are role models, communicating the importance of ethical standards, holding their employees accountable to those standards. Ethical leadership has been shown to cause a host of positive outcomes and to reduce the risk of many negative outcomes. Leadership may therefore be the most important lever in an ethical system designed to support ethical conduct. We should make ethics a very clear priority. Being an ethical leader means going beyond being a good person. Ethical leaders make ethics a clear and consistent part of their agendas, set standards, model appropriate behavior, and hold everyone accountable. Make ethical culture a part of every personal related function in your organization. Leaders must work hard through hiring, training, and performance management systems to bring in the right employees and then help employees internalize the organization's underlying values. Encourage, measure, and reward ethical leadership at multiple levels. Ethical leadership from the top is very important because it creates an environment in which lower level leaders can flourish, but ethical leadership at the supervisory level has a huge impact on followers' attitudes and behavior. In summary, in the current world, ethical leadership is critical and it impacts and influences all the key areas of businesses, be it the customer, the strategy, or processes. Thank you.
Moral objectivism is the duty of an individual to prioritize his or her own state of wellness over others. Increased profit is a reason and objective for why an individual would not abide by ethics and would therefore feed on others like parasites on a host. This is otherwise known as Machiavellianism. Hermans-Dortier et al., 2018, page 6, which counteracts leadership ethics. This concept can likewise be related to ethical egoism, in which a leader is only looking out for his or herself. Northhouse, 2018, page 492. A setback of this theory is that it is difficult to measure and needs more research to support its ideas. Also, in terms of what is considered ethical and unethical, can vary among age groups. For example, in millennials versus baby boomers. Northhouse, 2018, page 508. Millennials can be mistaken as being egotistical, award-driven, and more concerned about themselves as compared to baby boomers or older populations.
According to Kelly Kolowski, a leader must define and align their values. By defining your values, you show your authenticity and influence your leaders to do the same. This creates a shared vision amongst your team. Hiring people with the same values that you have is also important. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything, but you definitely need to have some common ground. Most companies need to do better hiring individuals based on their values and not based on their experience. By having different experiences and values, it allows for the company to have multiple solutions if a problem presents itself. Promoting open communication is also important to ethical leadership. By leaders being transparent and encouraging feedback, this makes your team feel like their opinions actually matter. Alan Gazua said management is all about the people. Understanding where they come from is crucial. Ethical leaders have to avoid being biased and remain open minded. Leading by example is the most important thing ethical leaders should implement. Your employees should see your behavior and choices and values and adopt them in their own practices. Ethical leaders should also adopt the practices of good, powerful leaders and implement them into their leadership style. Christian Matson states that the leader is happy and content in life, wants happiness and contentment for those they lead.
Group assessment. Ethical leadership refers to a principled and moral approach to influencing followers. According to Lord Forty and Phillips, when a leader's characteristics and qualities match with employee expectations, those employees will tend to automatically form judgments about that leader. Ethical relativism states that individuals should maintain the status quo of operations. This is risky because maintaining a status quo does not confirm that operations are carried out ethically, and in fact can mean that a business can carry out operations legally for years because it has become a habit or a tradition. Overall, the approach is practical and easy to carry out. However, it boils down to an individual's own values and morals as to whether or not ethical approaches will be taken. Thank you.